loved baseball at a young age, basketball. Still enjoy the sports, but football just grew to me the most, and I'm just glad to be able to continue to play it. And at a professional level, that's still
Yeah,
awesome to say and to be a
yeah.
part of. But yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of George on Sports with me, your host George. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but joining me on today's show, official member of the Indianapolis Colts, wide receiver and running back hybrid, Xavier Scott. Xavier, thank you for joining the show, and how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited, man. Obviously, I got the Colts jersey. I'm a big Colts fan. Dare I say, we've had a great draft. We've signed some great guys, including yourself too. And I kind of want to get straight to the point and get stuck in with your story. How did football come about for you? Take me back to the start of how you were exposed to the sport.
Yeah, it started when I was young. I started playing flag football when I was around 7. Started playing tackle soon after that, and it's been escalating since then. And just I just fell in love with the sport. It's just fun for me. It's something I've always enjoyed, and I've always had a passion for it. My parents they sacrificed a lot for me to be able to continue playing the sport growing up, and I'm sure we'll get into some of the details. But yeah, it's been something I've just been in love with. This and loved baseball at a young age, basketball. Still enjoy the sports, but football just grew to me the most, and I'm just glad to be able to continue to play it. And at a professional level, that's still
Yeah,
awesome to say and to be a
yeah.
part of. But yeah.
Well, I've seen some of your highlights, and let me tell you, I'm glad you're a Colt because from what I've seen, I'm so excited to have you on the squad. Honestly, you just don't understand. But you mentioned your family and them sacrificing things. So I understand you're from, you got Ohio ties, military family, which means that you have to move around. One of those movements include landing in Germany,
Mhm.
where you then took part. I think it's Vilsec where you were based.
Yes.
Um, One of the things that you wanted to do was to run track to help with your football game.
Yeah.
Not only did you run track, but you did pretty well running track. And I'm talking about placing first 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. And then you were the 2017 Stars and Stripes Boys and Track and Field Athlete of the Year. Talk to me about being placed in Germany, obviously having to travel with your family, um, and turning your hand to athletics and doing pretty well at it.
Yeah, no, that was something I knew it would help me in the long run for sure, and it was cool to be able to make those achievements, and I just recognized the importance of being able to have that extra speed, that track speed, as well as being able to play the sport. So yeah, it was just I yeah, I was just happy to be able to do all that and just blessed at the end of the day. Germany move was it was something I wasn't a fan of at first, for sure. But I knew we had to go as a family, make that decision, and my mom helped me stay faithful in that time. She reminded me that it's all part of God's plan, and I kept that close to me and just trusted the process the whole time. So and it just started to piece together little by little, and now we're a Colt. So I'm just excited to see what the future holds and what we do as a
Yes, sir.
team for sure.
You mentioned faith. Now, having a look at your story, your history, your background, faith is something that you hold close to your heart. How much would you say your faith has helped you to get to where you are now in terms of all the stages of progression you've made up until becoming a cult?
Oh, it's helped me every step of the way. It's grew stronger over time as well, which is naturally how it should be. There's those stage where I wasn't sure, I wasn't confident, and but then the faith just helped build that in me little by little, and it's just knowing that I have a savior, knowing that Jesus is there with me, he's guiding the way, leading the way for me. It just helps me have peace through chaos, and that's really what a lot of life is a lot of chaos. But when you can find that peace in it, you can accomplish really anything. So that's something that's definitely helped keep me grounded, keep me humble, and just keeps me moving.
Yeah, yeah. Peace through chaos. That's a first. I like that. I can completely see how that sums you up and resonates with you throughout your story and your journey. Let's talk about PPI because they were instrumental in helping you to achieve what it is you've achieved. And again, congratulations because it's a great achievement.
Thank you.
So 2017, I believe, working with PPI. You played for the Huskies at Connecticut. You obviously went on to play for the Black Bears at the University of Maine. But PPI, who helped you when you made a stop in Columbus on the part of your tour of the US,
Mm.
where you pretty much set the field alight. You know, you were going up against guys with offers from Ohio State and Alabama, 6'1", 198 pounds at the time, putting down a 4.38 in a 40-yard dash. I mean, no wonder people were turning their necks.
Mm.
What was that like for you? You know, you're touring around Europe, you're based in Germany, you put on this performance to PPI, and people's heads begin to turn.
Yeah, no, PPI they played a huge role in this. Brandon Collier and his team, they all helped me just realize that I can go play football in the States. Because once I got to Germany, I was very skilled, um, very like good at football even then too, obviously. But I didn't know if I was going to be able to play football in the States from over there. Didn't know if I was going to be able to play college football. So they helped me get that they helped bridge that gap to get me to the States and get me to those camps and stuff. And then when I got there, I was just playing football, like what I like to say. I was just doing what I've always been doing. Like I said, we did track. I did track. And that helped me with the 40 and stuff like that. My start, I took it serious in practices and stuff like that. Just trying to just perfect my craft. And I didn't even know, like, I was even recording myself doing starts back then just to see like what can I do better. And I didn't even think about it. It was just natural. But and then like over time, I've seen like how much that's really helped me in the long run. But yeah, a lot of credit to PPI for helping me get out to camps, for helping me get my name out there, and just speaking life into me at my high school years.
So you play a wide receiver and running back hybrid. You know, it's all out there for people to read. It's out there for people to see. The jump cuts are nasty. The speed is there. The skill is there. The talent's on show. Have you got a preference, running back or receiver?
I wouldn't say I have a preference, honestly. I enjoy them both. I like the preference. I like the I like the competitiveness at receiver, like a little bit more because when it comes to the DB, DBs are like they're the talkers on the field. They're the competitive, one of the more competitive guys on the field for the most part. So I like that aspect of it. I'm a competitive guy. I compete in everything I do, and don't like to lose. I wasn't made to, I wasn't created to lose. So I like to do everything I can to make sure I can put myself in the best position to win. And I know I have a lot of things I can control, and there's a lot of things out of my control as well. But just focusing on what I can control in that case, and a lot of stuff at receiver, I can control. Um, I can control a lot of stuff, and I can compete. So I have a lot of. I enjoy both positions at a high level. Like and I'm blessed to be able to have natural skills at both sides. So the that alone is awesome. But I love them both. But I love the competitive nature of receiver.
And your time at the University of Maine with the Black Bears, what was that like for you? How would you sum up that time?
With the Black Bears, it was very. I feel like it was growth. I feel like if there was one word I put for that whole time, it'd be growth. Since I first got there, I was still a younger kid, or just I was 20, I think, when I first got there, and Um, like obviously I was grown, but I still had a lot to learn. Grew in my faith a lot while I was there. Grew as a football player a lot while I was there. Grew as a man a lot while I was there. As a student a lot when I was there. So if I were to sum it in anything, it would definitely be growth.
And in terms of inspirations, you've mentioned faith, which is something I know is very strong to you, but you speak about your family making sacrifices. Would they be one of your biggest inspirations?
100%. Yeah, they've did so many things to allow me to continue to play this game. And one example for my dad's side, he came with me to those camps and helped they helped provide the day after I graduated. He flew out with me and was staying with me, keeping me motivated. I was after the first day of camps, I still had like 2 weeks worth of camps after that. Banged up my ankle, but he made sure I was good. He made sure I was taken care of and taking care of my ankle and stuff like that. So, and I continued to do well in other camps after that. So that's one thing, like that's one of the many things my dad sacrificed. Him being in the military was another one. And then my mom, she used to drive like 50 minutes to my practices there and then 50 minutes back when I was in middle school, just to get me to practice, because I was too heavy for the team that was close to us. So I had to move up in that weight range, but they didn't have it close. So I had to go further. So they've sacrificed countless things, and I'm just so grateful that I have that support system around me. And they're definitely some of my biggest inspirations. Seeing the work they've put in and how they motivate me every day and just support me throughout the whole way. So I would definitely say they're inspirations for me.
Is there any point where you were aware of the Colts showing some interest in you?
Yeah, definitely through the process there was interest. The cool part about it is when I was coming out of high school at those PPI camps, two special teams coaches at the Colts they also knew about me when they were at Ohio State and Michigan respectively, and they knew about me back then. So that was cool to see and see how it comes full circle. So yes, they showed interest for sure throughout the process, and I'm just glad that we could make it happen. I feel like I made the best decision.
You have. You're coming for that blue shoe. You've definitely made the best decision. That team in the AFC South. We're going up, man. We're
Yeah,
going. Only way we're going is
100%.
up. Mini camp. What was that like? I guess the rookies turned up for some mini camp. You would have been with the likes of Anthony Richardson, who you would have seen as well. You know, there's a lot of hype about, we've drafted a quarterback. You've seen the QB carousel that the Colts have had over the years, from Matt Ryan to Ellinger to Nick Foles. And now we draft a guy like Richardson, whose potential is absolutely through
Yeah.
the roof. What was it like being surrounded by all those guys at the couple of days minicamp that you had?
It was awesome at the mini camp. It was just seeing all the guys who take it so serious, and you could tell they everybody takes their craft serious. And going from Anthony Richardson to Josh Downs to Evan Ho, all these other guys, they all take it so serious, and even the guys who were like me in my situation where they were undrafted, free agents, or even some of the rookie minicamp tryout guys. Like there's so many people there, they just took it serious, and I enjoyed it being around them. Good guys, good group of guys to talk to just sit down and just enjoy the time with, and who take it serious on the field and then take it serious off the field as well. So that was awesome to be a part of that and to continue to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm. So before I let you go, this has been, I'm a Colts fan, and I've been a Colts fan for so many years. I've had the highs of having guys like Andrew Luck and then him retiring, and, we've been struggling ever since.
Yeah.
I will say there is a crazy amount of buzz right now around the Colts. You've probably seen it. The Colts aren't one of those high market teams that people like to talk about, but like obviously we've had our struggles, and now we've brought in guys like yourself. You mentioned Josh Downs, obviously Anthony Richardson, and there's a lot of positivity going on. And I, for one, can't wait for the season to start. So before I do let you go, for people who are listening and watching, given your story, your come up, your progression, if you had any piece of advice for anybody who's wanting to emulate your success or trying to get somewhere in life, what piece of advice would you give them?
One piece of advice that I would give, one thing that's kept me motivated and going through everything is definitely keep the faith. Don't let your dreams die. And one verse that comes to mind for me would be Galatians 6:9 is, "Do not grow weary in doing good, for in due time you will reap if you do not give up." And there's a lot of emphasis on if you do not give up. So I would just say don't give up, keep striving, keep going, and it's there for the taking.
Xavier, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. You can tell how pumped I am. I can't wait to see you hopefully make the full squad and
Sure.
make that difference for us. Be that guy, whether it's at running back, wide receiver, returner. You've got all the skill sets to be that guy.
Sure. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations. You've worked hard for it. Like you said, you never give up. And at the end of the day, this is the fruit of your labor. So I wish you all the best. Thank you once again for coming on the show.
Sure.
Hopefully we can do this again later down the line when you're in full swing in the season. We can catch up and talk about how you've been getting on.
Yeah.
But again,
Be awesome.
thank you. And once again, I've been George from Georgeonsports, here with the Indianapolis Colts wide receiver and running back hybrid athlete, Xavier Scott, formerly of the University of Maine with the Black Bears, now Indianapolis Colts full-timer. We'll see you on the next episode.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, man.